in the forest, you will see at the end of the film, which is totally otherwise it's totally prohibited, and they give us a chance to shoot there. It's amazing in this cave. So they offer us almost everything, let's say.
Now I open the floor for the questions from the audience.
Sir, very good morning to the both of the producers. Just to correct, both of your directors are in debutant, if I'm right.
Yes, the best debut film director.
Both films.
Yes, for the Silver Peacock.
Okay, fine. Yours is Estonian movie and yours is Slovenia. No?
Yeah.
Okay. First, I will talk about Ivo Felt. Just we heard about Estonia is more of in startup and other things for us Indian perspective, but I am not aware of the. If I am right, for me, correct me. I was first watching. I had to watch today Estonian movie. Just can you talk about Estonian film industry, how it's working there, so that I will get some perspective to add further. How is the Estonian film industry working there? The conditions and other things. What is the number? Yeah.
Thank you. So first of all, of course, we are really small. We are talking about the population of 1.3 million people living in this country. So it goes the same way it goes in Slovenia, I think, and in most of the European countries. We do have our film institute, and actually we are using the taxpayers' money partly for making films. We have film funds, we apply, usually we get neglected, sometimes we get supported. This is what it is. It's a very, very heavy competition. But being such a small place as we are, we can afford annually, let's say, 5 to 7 government-supported long fiction films. And then on top of that, we also minority co-produce, and then we have maybe another same number, or maybe even a bit more. And then we also production service. So we're quite active there in this country, but of course the overall number of films is really tiny. It's it's a little handful of films we are able to make. Nevertheless, and here we are. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So you just mentioned.
So shall I answer here?
Please,
about I didn't know that we are biggest
Please go ahead.
Nation. We have like 2 million in Slovenia, but the production is the same amount. So that's why maybe also because of this, I decide to move in Italy, where we have a company. So we have company Slovenia and Italy, which is like 100 kilometers from the capital city I live now, and we have also the Italian company. So we are now in Slovenia with 9 employees. We are the biggest company in the Slovenia. Quite a lot of production. We are doing also the series, international series, co-production, animations, and everything. But it's the same situation more or less. It's a very competitive scheme. We are minority co-production, but now we start with as I mentioned in Italy, with RAI, which is the biggest, the big television, and so we are growing in this direction. But the situation is similar, and also market in Slovenia is like very frustrating, because you could reach like, for our domestic film, super successful is 10,000 people in cinemas.
I need to add that this film, Frank, got 120,000 admissions in Estonia, which is 10% of the population.
Amazing. Yes, amazing. Congratulations. In Slovenia, yes. Yeah. Yes, this is like yes, that this is successful art house film. I mean, for the children, it goes around 50,000, 60,000, but this is projection for the school and so on. But I'm in general for the art house film, but this was very, very well covered by all newspapers. Our successful, because we got award in Berlinale Critics Award. So it was very, very well promoted in our domestic medias. And at the end, it was 10,000, yes.
And US for Oscar campaigns from
Yeah.
government side, any support?
Yeah, but really small amount of money comparing the it's similar. It's like 30,000-40,000, which is comparing with Italy. They invest 1 million, for example, 100,000 for their campaign. You could not do. You just travel to LA and you do some press, and this is it.
I'm sorry for both of you because I am yet to watch your movies, and director is also not present. That's why I checked on this evolution of industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is Mahesh from India's Public Service Broadcaster. Actually, the gentleman was supposed to ask, but since my question is in the similar vein, I'll just continue that discussion further. Yesterday, we had some press conferences, and the talk that emerged, or some points that emerged, were in the time of onslaught of big studios and equally strong OTTs, the local patronage is something which can save small filmmakers. What is scenario in your respective countries about people patronizing local films by going to the theaters? Both of you.
Can take one.
Yes, if I got it right. So you ask about what the support gives. I mean, first of all, it makes it all possible at all, because otherwise there are some commercial films in Estonia as well produced. I mean, the onlyest way to do that is make them very cheap, because the audience amount is so small. So in order to get done like more quality films, the support is just, without that there would be nothing. And there is also a little support for distribution if the film will get made, and for the long feature, like fiction features, and also actually feature-length documentaries, there is a little distribution support what the Film Institute gives if you're lucky. So in order to make a little bit kind of promotion and so, but it's quite often the scheme is like half of the funds will come from the government, and the other half we need to find ourselves. It can come from inside the country, from investors. Is it more commercial films, or very often we also co-produce? I don't know, with Slovenia next time.
I hope so. Yeah, it's again similar in Slovenia. For distribution, we got a small amount of money to make a domestic campaign, which is more or less some press, advertising, and so on. But people somehow adapt to watch it, and because we normally co-produce with national TV, so people know that it will be in 1 year on national TV, so they're waiting to watch it there. This is first, and then co-production. There is quite a lot of co-production in ex-Yugoslavia territory. So it's Slovenia, Croatia, and Serbia. Also this film, and with Italy, of course, because I find money there. And it was also Euroimage, it's supranational European fund for supporting co-production. It's a kind of gap financing. Last 15-20% of the financing you could got there, and we counted because it's a female director, so it's a plus for international financiers. This is the structure, more or less. I could not imagine to do in Slovenia, and normally it's not the case, except this kind of low, or let's say no budget production, which is then hard to put in the cinema. But more or less, I could not imagine films without public money. Not just in Slovenia, in Europe, let's say it's a case.
Excuse me, my name is Siraj Sayyed. I'm India correspondent for filmfestivals.com, Paris. My question to both the gentlemen is that Estonia, Slovenia, being part of the earlier Yugoslavian circuit, I would say, individually you have a very small population, and there may be differences in language now that we have so many separate states, Balkan states. Will dubbing these films in various European languages or releasing them with subtitles help you to expand the market? Or is it very expensive to do so? Or maybe you can have bilingual or trilingual versions of the same film.
First of all, Estonia is from Baltic countries, which is a part of Soviet Union. We was the
Yeah, this is our harsh past. We got out from this one at 1991.
the same. The same for us was not pleasure that we was the part of the Balkan jar of aggression, and don't want to mention it. Yes, for Italy it depends. Now people, for example, we understand the Croats and Serbs because it was similar, and culturally it's still connected, this area. So that's why it's a lot of co-production, and they have also award, and they have a festival, Sarajevo Film Festival, which is like biggest one in the region, and they're supporting the industry. It's a kind of center, and so on. But for example, in Italy, they demand to go to the cinema, like at least in the 60 halls in the cinema in Italy, because they support our film. So in this case, we have to dub it, because in Italy they didn't adapt to watch the film with subtitles. So they're watching. They are really good in dubbing. They're amazing in Rome. They're amazing in dubbing. But it's a lot of money. So I don't know if we will recoup at the end. Maybe we will recoup this investment in the dubbing. This is the situation. So if you wish, you could go in the art house cinemas net, which is also in Italy, Slovenia, all around the Europe. But this is very limited distribution, or to go and to dub it and to invest money in dubbing.
Yes, sure. So, just an example of the same film we are screening here, Frank. It got just recently bought for Germany and France. And when we did the film, this is a bit technical, but there is this kind of a soundtrack where is no dialogue, which is called Music and Effects, MND. And it cost a little bit to make that. And as we did it on such a tight budget, we didn't even do this track. So now we are forced to go back to sound studio and basically delete the Estonian dialogue from the film and start making the dubbing. So basically our strategy is we make it when we need it. Once there is no sales, then we don't do that. But if we see that sales are really coming through, then we do this. We always subtitle, absolutely always. And of course, these days now, AI is around, so we could even make little lip sync working if we wish. So this is actually quite prosperous future for like small countries as we are. Actually, while campaigning for one of our films in LA a few years ago, it was the year when Korean film won a foreign Oscar, Parasite. In that year, was first time in LA when the people started to say that now we started to read subtitles because of all those platforms around. They all use subtitle content. So actually, also subtitles are basically, I would hope, a little bit like more accepted in the world than ever. But for our audience, otherwise we get 10,000 people seeing films if we don't distribute it in the world. We are trying to get them out, which is not so easy. Berlin Festival helps.
With advance apologies to Ivo, Mehik, do you think it's actually more difficult to handle a subject like yours, where there is very fine line and very easy temptation to get to fall into the trap of sexualizing the content without intending it? The scenes may get sexualized. It's very. Do you think it's more difficult to handle a theme like yours than actually handling violence where children are involved?
No, for in general, for the audience, like worldwide, it's I believe it's easier to target audience with that kind, or with the violence nowadays, with the violence film. Somehow I believe, because I just finished one film with where is the topic domestic violence. It's really hard. It's good film, but it's really hard to push it internationally for the festival. So I believe that kind of coming of age, discovering some sexuality, especially female sexuality in the society as our is, which is like still very Catholic. It's something it's appreciated from audience, I believe, especially from young audience.
You are to adding, we know we are aware of Estonia especially in startup industries. We get many delegations coming to India, especially for startup industries. It's very much attractive to gateway for European Union. With minimum investment, they will get temporary residential permit with bank account and mobile. But what is the measures within the Estonian film industry and the government to grow Estonian to take and collaborating with large film industries like India, China, or US, this kind of market? Is any measures within the industry like that? Can you add on that one? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So first of all, of course, we are really proud that the IT sector is so strong in Estonia. They are really doing well. And we are a little bit even known in the world by that. We have our Bolt, which is come from Estonia, and some startups, even Skype was invented in Estonia like in the early days. But this all is poor business. And this is all based on commercial money, on investment, of course, in like bright ideas. There are some brains behind it, no doubt. As for the filmmaking in Estonia and in the small countries as we are, it's more like art still. It's really hard to make it happen in commercial terms. And yes, there is a government support which we can't really complain. It is really in place. It is even though there's tough times at the moment. Yes, we are. There is war next to us, and there is still money for culture. So there is still money for film, and we always are trying to make it internationally as seen as possible. It is a government support for that. We all want to do that. That's why we're here. Thank you very much once again. And we want to be seen, of course. I mean, as wide as possible, and we want our voices be heard. There are many levels, also political level, also what's happening in the world right now. So we are on the border.
Sorry to interject, but as one of our audiences asked Mihek the question regarding how difficult is it to maintain that fine line when you showcase a movie on a topic. When I went through your movie, Evo, the relationship between Paul and Frank, which was shown, was at the heart of the film. It was a fragile relationship, but it came out very powerfully on the screen. So what effort went into that part to portray such a relationship on the screen? The relationship between Paul and Frank, when they met, it was a fragile relationship which built over time. But ultimately it came out very powerful. So how the ideas came over the time?
Yes, thank you. So it was the essential part of developing the script. So Paul was existing from day one. He was a protagonist, and we know that he is going to meet Frank somehow. But as it was developed in the course of very many years, there was also a version, for example, where Paul was 28 years old, went back to his home village, and then the story was completely different. And even towards Frank, there was like nothing close to this what we see on screen right now. But it was quite technical development. We were making one step after another to see how to make how to find the relationship, first of all, and then how to put this work. And then we thought, okay, why don't we make it with teenage boys who is really more or less kicked out of home, actually kicked out quite physically out of home. And he's coming to this place he doesn't know, and then thanks God he finds this soul who at the end saves him. Yes, so it was screenwriting, I can tell you.
Thank you.
I have a question for Mihek. Can you talk a little more about the audio and visual parts of the movie? Because I have honestly just seen the trailer, but seeing the trailer, I saw that there were a lot of floral elements. You focused on the church and the natural aspects of it, and the music was also very interesting, at least in the trailer. So, can you talk a little more about that?
Uh, I'm actually Micha because Michec is a small. No, it's officially it's Michec, but Michec means small Micha. So I'm not small anymore. So, but they gave me this name when I was really small at my birth. So the chorus as it is in the film, it's kind of very traditional in Slovenia. So there is a kind of, so everybody goes. Also, I was in the chorus when I was in the first and second class of primary school, and then it depends, or they kick you out, as it was my case, because I was not a good singer, or you're advanced in this. So normally that kind of course they go somewhere to practice their singing, and also a lot of different kind of chorus, female, male, just 8 of and big chorus, and so it's very some of them are very famous also. And this kind of trainer coaches are really as he was in the film. So they're very, very, very disciplined. It's all about work, discipline, and also I remember my teacher. It was completely the same. So this actor is a good actor, but when he was studying this role, he was with one, and he's trying to understand the mental setup of these people, which are totally dedicated to the music, let's say, and to the discipline, because they said that it's all about the discipline, rehearsal, and they're really strict. So this is one of the confrontation of this young lady, beside her main confrontation of the society of very Catholic society, which is the case. These small houses, we call it kapelica. It's all around. It's in every village, in the streets. Where is the Holy Mary or Jesus? It's all around in Slovenia, for example, because we are maybe even more Catholic than Italy is, So it is something which is definitely from our society, but I believe, with the message, especially for young audience, with the message for all young audience globally, I believe. So this kind of struggles, let's say, faces all the young population. I believe so, especially, of course, the female in this case. I believe that, it's like it has global appeal, let's say. Yes, thank you.
My question is to both gentlemen, and I want to go back to what we were talking about, art and commerce. Both films are incredibly successful, I would say. One has been at Berlin, it's an Oscar entry. Frank is the second most watched film in Estonia as of today. So if you can just help us understand, how does this strategy work between festivals, how we're navigating the film's journey across international festivals, and how we're looking for distribution and theatrical release in this country?
Yes, thank you. This is actually my favorite topic, because this is a thin line we're always looking for. I mean, me personally and our company, we've been around for 30 years. We turned 30 years old, the company I'm coming from, and which I own partly. So it's been in course of all those years, basically, there is somewhere nirvana, and this is the place that you can be so commercially successful, but still also reach festivals, which means you can't make very stupid films, first of all. And this goes like big time about us. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and this is all about filmmaking. Why filmmaking is such a great thing is that you never know. You may have all those components. You may have great story, great director, great cast, even some money in place, but you can completely kind of, it can still, be a flop, so to say. But sometimes some magic happens, so we are seeking for magic here.
More or less, I totally agree with Ivo. I believe that this kind of European public financing of our films, it allow us a little bit more freedom first. Then everything is more author driven because we get money as a producer also for in the name of director. So it's not our film, it's not producer's film, but it's more ours, let's say, like the whole crew. And I believe in that kind of approach. I believe that's why I love the most European or art house films all around around the world, not just European, but let's say independent. So this is, let's say, advantage of the producing in Europe, let's say, or to be independent producers. But so I'm totally with Ivo in the direction that sometimes we are really frustrated and we are calculating, and so in my case I realize that it, like, just go with the flow, trust, and don't calculate nothing. This is my this is my conclusion.
But what happens to the auteur approach with debut filmmakers? How do you said you ask for, like, you get money in the name of the director. How do you pitch a debut director?
Yes, but in this case, Urshka did short film. It was European Film Academy awarded. It was César awarded. So it's a big thing that got César in France. So she was a name. So it was not so difficult to finance. Also in France, it got developing award and so on. So it was not so difficult, let's say. Of course, we cover also big Italian part, so we control all 90% of the money to invest in the film, not to spend it around. This was the good thing, but it was not so difficult,
Yes, with us it was a bit different because Tõnis, he has done short films, like quite a few, but none of them has been as successful as we are talking here. So it was. I mean, the story was strong. We developed a strong story, and somehow we were able to convince the financiers that it might be. And also, honestly, the risks were rather low because they didn't give us a full amount of support, but they could give. So it went like, I don't know, not really half, but maybe 2/3 of the maximum amount, and we topped it up ourselves. So actually, this film really has quite a big part of commercial money in as well. And also those commercial money, maybe those are a little bit like come on a basis of also producing, because they, there have been some fails, but there have been also some wins. So on that terms, but when you asked about marketing, with Frank, we did it very thoroughly. So because it's a youth film, and we thought there might be an audience. We were aiming at, if we're talking about like admissions numbers, which of course is like kind of, I don't know how much it gives. We're talking, if we could get like 40,000-50,000 of sold tickets in Estonia, we'd be really happy. And then it went over 100, which is really, but that was very systematical work, marketing. We had marketing team of 7 people working on that. So that was pretty serious. Yes.
So my last question, since I think all the audience was very engaging and they have covered most of the things, since the topics which you touched has affected a global audience all around, and as we were discussing before, you received a good response here as well. But I want to know personally from your journey that after working on such a heavily emotional theme, how it influences you as a director or maybe producer or the cast at the end of the movie? If you can. Begin.
Influence in which direction, you mean?
If you direct a movie, how such a topic influences you at the end of the movie, from your perspective, how it changed your mind, your perspective about the things.
Well, for me, it's like my all of my films is a kind of travel. It's a trip from the beginning to the end, because normally it takes 4, ideally, or 5 or 6 years from the first idea to develop it, and then pre-production, production, post-production, and festival journey. And so it's a long travel, which is between producer and director, a kind of very part of life you live together. So it's very important. This relation is very important. Sometimes it happens that you will collaborate again. Sometimes doesn't. It depends. And this is how influence on me about the how to experience, how to investigate the topic. Definitely new friendship, and I believe in the different to for example to the cast. It was a great experience for this madame, for the main, because she was a child actually. Now she's a lady with a lot of awards.
Yeah, sure.
So probably different kind of. And yes, it's a kind of journey. It stays in my heart. Let's say this is.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm really emotional. So if you make a film like that, so it kind of touches me maybe until today. If we're talking about this film, and there are still the moments when I watch the film which kind of work. I'm really naive. I've seen it, I don't know, thousands of times, but sometimes it just works. But with this also, I actually we can't. We're talking the same thing all the time. I'm sorry for that, but I also go with Mihail here that. Maybe in such a small places as we are, filmmaking is so personal. Our crews are small. We are working with crews of, I don't know, 30, 40 people on set, and we still get the films done. And I can also tell quite proudly maybe that the directors I work with, Denise is so young, but they are my friends. They're very close friends. So it's more than just filmmaking. Indeed, it's our life. I mean, we have families, yes, but somehow it's quite passionate. And filmmaking is about, and films are about giving emotions, isn't it? We want to be emotional.
Absolutely true. So with this, we come at the end of the press conference. I would like to thank our audience for being engaging and asking such a diverse range of questions, and our panelists also for being patient and replying answers very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now I'll request our panelists to come downstairs, and from our side, we'll give a token of appreciation. Thank you.